Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Good morning. Good morning. Cool. Stream looks good. Good. All right. Let's get this show on the road. I got a couple things this afternoon. So I know I got an unexpected morning live going here. A little bit after market open, 10:10 a.m. I'm just not going to be able to make it happen this afternoon. Had a couple people book some times to speak with me. If you're interested in that, free Discord, you can book a free 30-minute call to talk about your trading and maybe getting some more help with your trading. But I got one of those and a couple other things that are going to take me away from a live stream. So I want to get it in early. Cool, that looks good. I'm just checking a couple things on my second screens over here. Cool, we'll take a look at the market. I'll wait for a couple people to get in here. Cool, don't need to know about that. All right. So let's look at ES. That's what I'm going to be sticking to. NQ did me dirty again last night. My shot for the overnight gap fill, overnight swing trade to fill that gap that was formed at the open, failed pretty miserably. That's okay. I'm taking that trade 9 times out of 10. The one time I probably shouldn't be taking it was on NVIDIA earnings coming out so strong. But if you look at what we got going on today, a handful of trades back and forth this morning, trying to get on the right side of this market while also playing off these levels. Put me up just a little bit in profit on this account, which I ran into a little bit of profit and then back down a little bit. I'm at 50, 59.30 on this one. It's a combine. I got way too many of these things running. Took a trade right off of this level here, just a discretionary level that I had marked coming off of these lows, and should have been holding that one. It hesitated a bit and pulled back and then continued. If you look at the 1 minute, this didn't look so great. This looked like a potential pullback up to where I have pre-market low marked off, and then a continuation down. But we put a nice double bottom in, and the continuation up to maybe the session anchored VWAP or even higher. This zone that I had up here that was respected for a little bit. If you could just see that kind of price action there on the 1 minute, not by much. That was just off of this level here. I wanted something below prior day high to work off of in case we started selling off. But we came down, past the gap, past pre-market low, right? We passed this session price action here. I'm gonna get rid of this anchored VWAP, which was off the session, not needed. This is just the daily VWAP. I guess you'd call it session VWAP because that's how it's calculated, but this is just the indicator that stays on. This is actually an anchored VWAP off of 9:30 open. I'll throw one off of the low of day just so we can watch it. And if you guys are interested, actually the godfather of the anchored VWAP, the dude who wrote the book and everything, I don't know why I always forget his name. I remember it now. It's Brian Shannon. I think he's going to be on Top Step Live's live stream later today. I think it's 1 o'clock Eastern. But he's the man if you want to learn about it, learn the application, just a lot of different ways, how it works, how he, describes utilizing it in your trading. I'm a big fan of books, of learning. I think a lot of guys are like, want to pretend like they figured everything out themselves without reading a book or learning anything about from anybody else. You could treat it like any other profession, right? Like you go to school, you're going to have professors, you're going to have teachers, you're going to have people that you're going to learn from. Research paper that was done before you, utilize that, decide what works for you. Maybe some of it's not so great in our space, maybe some of it's BS, but that's how I approach it. So yeah, we sold off at the open, obviously, right? We put this high in for pre-market. We were trailing down. We had some news here that dropped at 10 a.m. Yeah, right here, that pushed up, pulled back down, and then continued. But we had a nice sell-off this morning, pretty aggressive, and now we are starting to recover. So I'm going to wait, give this a little bit of time. Again, I got some trades in this morning. This looks like a nice break back up into pre-market, retesting here a little bit and maybe a continuation to the upside. I'm going to wait to see if this starts to continue here to the upside or if we just want to come up around this level and then continue down. But so far, this is looking pretty bullish. Yeah, this is looking pretty bullish. I don't like how I would have to structure risk on that one. I want to be long here, back up towards this level and this VWAP and prior day high. I really do. I just don't have a great way to structure risk. A stop below this level, I don't think is very good. I don't think it's enough room, and a stop all the way down below this low would just be a huge, wide amount of risk to take on. But if I'm trading this right now, I'm long back up towards this VWAP here. Maybe waiting for a little bit of confirmation, just coming above these highs right here on the 1 minute. But I'm if I'm not going to take trades, I'm going to describe them in detail so you guys can understand what I'm looking at and make your own decisions. I probably won't answer too many questions on this live since I am focused up. If you want to ask, feel free, ask in the chat. Just please don't spam the chat. And not that I have a ton of people in here that do it, but every once in a while I get someone that I don't respond to, and it's 30 messages about the same thing. That's no fun. Again, I'm looking at this long back to the VWAP, which I do pay attention to early morning. Right after NYSE Open, I find it holds more value in my trading than later in the day. Also, the anchored VWAP off the open, and then anchoring off of lows and highs once they're kind of put in and confirmed. Like this low over here, we pushed up, pulled back down, didn't break it, and then broke above. That's enough for me on the 1 minute just to look at it and see. We are downtrend structure for the morning, so I'm aware of that. We pushed down quite a bit through some levels that I had marked off here and some areas that I was paying attention to. So this may be like what they call acceptance of lower pricing, where we're going to continue lower. But I'm just going to wait to see what happens from this level. This would be an opportunity to go long, but again, this downtrend structure that I'm paying attention to, I'm kind of just going to hold for the time being. But didn't get super aggressive off the open. This would have been nice, taking shorts following pre-market structure. But after the last few days of finding support quickly and bouncing back up, not really the same structure. I shouldn't say that. Just didn't catch one super big short all the way to the downside. So let me get my drawing tool out here. Leave it at 2. So, a couple things we could be seeing right now. Maybe this is just a continuation, push up, break down to this side, and now we're going to continue as I'm looking for, maybe towards the daily VWAP. Maybe this is following this downtrend structure from the morning, and we're seeing more something like this. We push down, we're pulling back up, and now we're going to continue down. So you can read price action from many different time frames. You could read it in different ways. I'm kind of in the middle of those two. Looking at this really zoomed in 1 minute time frame structure, and the more zoomed out structure for the day so far, where we sold off pretty hard, came all the way down. Did find some support at my nice discretionary level. Again, with S&P really respecting levels, at least my levels, what I look at. If I wasn't such a baby, I probably would have held this one that I got long on down here for a little bit longer. I got kind of aggressive scaling in, so maybe I took on a little bit too much risk to be able to sit through it. But let's see. We break down and aggressively start pushing below this level here. I think lower prices are in store. Kind of what I'm leaning on right now. I'm just after watching, the last few minutes of price action develop. Let's look at the 5 minutes so we can see this. Nice zoomed out chart. Yeah, this could be it also. This could be all it wants to pull down to, and now we're going to we're going to continue following this just absolute tear that the US indices have been on, this overnight move. I don't have a strong bias either way at the moment. Good morning, Mario. How are we doing, brother? Good morning to anybody else that's in here from Discord. The boys from Discord. Yeah, just trying to get a little bit of a feel of where we're at, higher time frame wise, more zoomed out. I like to do that every once in a while as I'm trading. This way you don't get too hyper focused on every candle that's printing on the 1 minute. So let's see how the anchored VWAPs come into play, right? We had a super clean bounce right off of this anchored VWAP. Let's see if this one does anything. Again, not magical. These aren't the best things since sliced bread. They're just something else to pay attention to. I think a really naked chart with some horizontal levels is a great starting point for everybody. And then maybe you add in another tool. Maybe something that's bringing you some more information like volume from the volume weighted moving averages for me is helpful. Not a whole bunch of indicators and not relying on them really to make your trading decisions exclusively. Maybe it just adds a little bit more of a frame of reference for your discretionary trading. That's how I utilize them. So I like to describe this stuff when I have it on my charts because I'm not a fan of indicators. I'm not a fan of a bunch of colorful crap all over your charts. I don't think it helps. I think it takes away from price action and market structure, which is the most important thing. Even my horizontal levels, I don't like them to be super bright neon colors if I don't have to. I'm not too particular about all that, but I like to be able to focus on price action and market structure the most. Keep it simple. That's the name of the game, man. Don't have to make this stuff more complicated than it needs to be. So all the way back down to this level, right at this low here, actually just below it, coming back down to test the lows of the day so far. Do we find support again a third time here and continue to push off? That would really start to indicate that we've got some uptrend structure forming, or do we slice through this? I think there's also a pretty solid potential to come right below these lows and then find some serious support if that's going to happen, or maybe we see the drop down without even really finding any kind of time for a retest. Maybe we see the retest here and then a continuation lower. We got some potential for different things, but right now it's stalling, right? We got buyers kind of stepping in here. Price didn't just blast through. We don't have another candle like these two forming. We've got a bullish candle forming back up to the upside. I'm just kind of in a holding pattern here. Again, because with this, it's not as clear that we're just going to dump to lower prices here. This is obviously an important level that buyers and sellers are fighting over. We're at least balancing right here. And I want to wait to see if we start to trail higher. or start to trail lower. That'll give me a little bit more of a direction to trade, and then I can look at this lower time frame market structure and decide how I want to structure risk. What's up, brother? Doing good. Alpha Spark. Yeah, a whole bunch of boys from Discord. Appreciate you guys jumping on. I'm doing good. Hope you are doing well also, my man. But yeah, got to get the morning live stream in. What's up if you joined late? I got some things going on this afternoon. Got a couple of meetings. One is for one of the free meetings. If you guys want to speak to me about your trading and about working with me, getting some more help with your trading, especially on these morning live sessions that I really keep to myself on and focus up, book a free 30-minute call. You could do it through the Discord. Speaking with somebody from Discord. I'm looking forward to that at 12 o'clock. So don't have too much time, but I'll put it out there for you guys if you want to do that. It's just a simple link. Gives you my schedule. Pick whatever time you want, and we could chat, man. No impulsive move off this level, right? We didn't blast up just yet. We're not blowing through it, and we're not just blasting right back off through it. Not a real deep push into it. So important area that I'm watching right now. Important area. And, if you find these live streams valuable, putting all this info out there for free, answering questions, showing you what real trading looks like, feel free to hit the like button or subscribe. It helps me out. Doesn't cost you anything. But as always, as I conclude with on most of my stuff, no pressure either way, man. I'm not going to ask you to do anything for me or give me anything. No problem. You don't have to join or click any buttons or do anything that you don't want to do. If you find it valuable, I'm putting it out there for you. I'd love to have you in the community and provide as much value, help you out any way that I can. Waiting to see what we got on this one. Again, this is my main session. I'm not super proud of not catching the shorts on this one out of the morning. This looked really bearish. I looking back on this, just reflecting on some of the morning right off the bat, I would have liked to have gotten short, on aggressive entries, selling into momentum, and just held on to some of that. I just had back and forth trading, and then some bounces off of the zones, kind of against the downtrend. And now we're after that time frame, this is still prime time for me, but a little bit less clear price action right now. I like to get my trading in, put my risk on for this morning session, but of course I got to see stuff set up to take it. What's up, my man? What's up, more boys from Discord? Yeah, so again, man, not breaking below these lows, finding support here, kind of consolidating, putting some volume in, trading right down here. Obviously, we're struggling to get below this level. We did push up from it. Nice clean bounce right off this anchored VWAP that's been on the chart. If you go back and watch the beginning of the video, also around the pre-market low level that I like to pay attention to. This looks like it doesn't want to slice through here yet, right? Like here was its chance to come back down through right here. Here was chance number 2. We didn't do that. I'm tempted to get long on this back towards daily VWAP and back into the range with a stop loss just below this level. I am noting this, big downtrend structure that we've got here, but playing off of the much higher time frame tear that the U.S. indices have been on, finding an area to buy, this might not be too bad. What's going on, guys? Good to talk to you. Good to hear from you. Got some people saying what's up in the chat. Kind of a lot of risk to take on at this point, but
order filled.
I'm going to go for it here. I'm just going to do a market buy. I'm going to put my stop loss. Let me just move it down here and I'll measure it out real quick. about 34 ticks. Again, I want to be long this market in general if I can. I'm recognizing what we got going on down here. Reasons for the trade, right? We sold off pretty aggressively, as you could see. We came down to this level. Oh, I can't hit the undo button. That's one. Is there an undo button? No, I can't hit the undo button on this trading view on Top Step X. It's actually kind of frustrating. I'll have to go back and fix that. We sold off aggressively. We came down to this level. We started to bounce off of it, right? We had an opportunity to break that back down below this level really aggressively multiple times, and we've yet to do that. We've put some higher highs in. We broke above this area here. It's not super bullish price action, but we've come down once again, pretty aggressively, right? Some nice big volume candles, at least for the 1 minute, back down into the zone, and now we found support again. If this was going to continue back down through, it had plenty of opportunities to do so. Can it still turn right from here and just start trailing lower? Sure, it definitely can. But this is giving me the indication now that, sellers are not really in control. They had plenty of opportunity to continue this move. We've started to, have buyers step in here. This is enough for me to say, okay, I want to try the long. Yes, we found resistance right here up at this level, pulled back down, but we've got a higher low, not confirmed because we're not above this level here, but a higher low getting put in with, quite a bit of price action trading back up that way. So I'm getting long. It's not an amazing entry where I'm waiting for a pullback or anything like that. It's on momentum coming up above these highs again, back up above the anchored VWAP off the bottom that we were breaking above with some momentum, and a stop loss below the lows where if this is going to continue down, I'll just take the loss. One contract on S&P, quite a bit of risk. Again, really more than I want to take on for one contract trade. The target would have to be pretty wide, but I'd be targeting this level up here, this daily VWAP. I don't like this candle at all that's forming within that explanation, but I'm going to let this one ride. I probably wouldn't cut this short, even with this type of risk, unless we had, I shouldn't say that. Right off the bat with the first few candles, I'm not likely to close the trade in drawdown. The point of having a stop loss at this level is because I want to give it room to breathe around this level. If it needs to come down and trade right at these lows, I'll withstand that. A wick down, it'll take me out, and that happens sometimes. If we get, different price action that forms, I'll manage the trade accordingly. As more and more price trades, as more bars print, I'm more likely to adjust the stops, bring stops to break even, close the trade at break even if I don't think it's working out because I've got more information to make decisions off of. Yeah, Top Step does have crypto futures as well. I've heard some different things about the chart, so I would do your own research on that. But we've got guys in Discord that trade it, so. If you want, feel free to hop in and ask those boys what their thoughts are. But if you got questions on this trade, feel free, ask away. That was my explanation of what we got going on. Simple, no magic, no special set of rules that tell me to get long or get short. I'm applying my discretion, my intuition. I usually can tell when I want to get into a position, what direction I want to trade. I've got to wait for certain things to be able to structure risk, a few things to happen in a way that's favorable. This isn't the best setup for me. Again, I'd love to have a stop much, much closer, be able to put heavier size on and still maintain, a 300, around $300, $400 worth of risk. Gives me a couple chances to get stopped out before I run into a daily loss limit. But stop loss has to go where it has to go. And again, I'm watching this form. I think now after watching this, there's more potential to run back up. Even if we're going to continue down on the day and, catch a nice 1-to-1 risk to reward, something like that. Or even just trail back up towards the overall trend. These markets have been so strong. Shorting them has just not worked out at all for me, or I don't think for anybody else outside of just quick moves. So, Long America, that's the preference, right? That's the dumb saying because we're trading US indices. They're based on US stocks and their performance. So, long America is the joke. But we'll see how this forms. Not a huge continuation to the upside. This is okay structure. Not enough for me to really make any changes just yet, but we will see. Do we have? Let's check Forex Factory. 10 o'clock new home sales came out. This just came out. Not a big deal. Not much towards the afternoon for news. So we'll see. We'll see if we can get some momentum continuing up above this high. Not super convincing at the moment. Maybe we just get some rangy price action, some consolidation here, and that's not too fun to get involved with. But again, I look at the time. I understand my time for trades as well. I don't feel pressure to put one on, but if I'm going to get one on, right about now is the time. So we're in. We'll see how it runs. Here's what I like to do as an exercise, mental exercise to really help you and your psychology. When you put a trade on, put your risk on, measure it out, and accept that as a loss. Understand that there's a cost of doing business. There's expenses in trading. Taking losses are normal losses as long as you're not trading on tilt or over trading, revenge trading. Normal losses like this, part of trading. And if it comes down and stops me out for $425 and I end the day, down 3 something because I'm up a little bit right now, no problem. I already accept that. When you start with the frame of mind, putting on the trade to say, I know and fully accept how much risk I have to put on in a worst case scenario where it just comes right down to my stop loss, and you accept that, not just aware of it, really accept it, it takes the sting out of it. It takes the fear, and it allows you to just focus on what's happening and make really good objective decisions, because I manage my trades, and it's more difficult to make clear-headed decisions when you have risk on in the market, when you have a position running. It's more difficult. You have fear and greed coming into play. You're looking at your P&L moving up and down maybe, and maybe you're worried and you want to cut the trade quick. And I say, oh man, I'm $150 in profit. I could just close it out now, and I'll be up $300 on the day, and I'll have another nice win on my live stream for you guys. Is that what the market is dictating I should do, or is it all those BS reasons that I just mentioned? So, I like to talk about the psychology a little bit. I don't think many people like to talk about the risk management side or the psychology side of trading, but that's actually where profitable trading comes from, in my opinion. Technical analysis, it's not very difficult. You could learn it in a pretty short amount of time. Yes, it takes time to build experience and intuition, and you only get better with time, as long as you're structuring your trading in a way that will help you do that. But the psychology and mindset piece of it is major. So now we've pushed up. We found some momentum. We got some nice buyers stepping in. We're up above this level here, right? This is a little bit of a level. I don't draw zones and lines all over my chart, but I'm aware of them, right? We see this high where price rejected here. Not really anything super important, but we could see that we found some resistance there. We put higher lows coming up into that, and now we've since broken above. Now we're at another important level. We really need to get above pre-market low. Oh, this was jacked up from before, so let me adjust this. Where did my pre-market low come from? I think it came right off of this level, and I want that to be believe that was my pre-market low level before I accidentally picked it up before. Yeah, so that's what I'm looking for. Obviously, a break above this level here, continuation, break above the anchored VWAP here that we've stayed below and found some resistance at, and a continuation up to the session VWAP, and maybe this level here, maybe back up towards the high. If we start to reject from this area here, come back down, we come back down towards getting below this low, less probability of this working out. I'm going to give this some room to breathe because, normal price action forming like this. I would have liked a nice break above, of course, obviously, but, something down around this level and a continuation, very possible. I don't like my bent arrow like that. Something, something down where we want to come back down, below this area here, below these lows quickly, before a nice push up. Totally okay. So I've got to just kind of sit patient. You could always start trailing your stop loss. You could go stop loss to break even right now. If you happen to be in this exact same trade, you could go stop loss above break even, lock in your profit, and be good to go. I probably at this point now that we have more data, like we talked about, wouldn't allow this to come all the way back down to stop me out at $425. I would manage it. But I don't like to ever move my stop loss up and then move it back down. I never like to move my stop loss further away. So I kind of just wait, see what's happening, and then when I'm really, convinced that, hey, I've got a level now that if it comes back down to, I want to be out, I move my stop loss then. Because it's just a terrible thing, a habit, to ever be moving your stop loss further away while you're in a trade. You'll see me measure it out. I drag it, I measure, I move it around real quick, and then I'm in. If you find yourself pulling your stop loss back, dangerous game to be playing. Dangerous game. So we got some momentum. This is nice. I'm close to wanting to go stop loss to break even. I'm just not there yet. This wouldn't be a bad area to take profit and just close the trade out altogether. But I want to shoot for a break above this. I think we've got buyers stepping into this level here. This looks good. I'd like to hold towards the bottom of this level or this daily VWAP. That's my target right now. That's the area that I'm comfortable taking a profit on this. We come all the way back to break even, I'll probably just duck out. But again, I'll leave my stop loss where it is for the time being, for the reasons I just described, and I'll just continue. But we're going to see in real time how this anchored VWAP comes into play. Hopefully, it doesn't hold as resistance right now a second time, but we'll see. We get above that, we start pushing, and we come up towards daily or session VWAP. That'll be nice. Close 500 in profit. I went in right before you. Nice. Very nice, man. I'm happy about that. Way to go. Another dude from Discord with the funny Discord and YouTube names, Relaxing Zen. Nice, brother. Way to lock the profit in. Again, you hear me talk about it. I like to try to hold my trades. We were talking about holding trades yesterday in Discord. I hold out for the larger winners. Sometimes to my peril, sometimes to my advantage. I take a lot of stops at break even on the way to the bigger wins. That's just how it goes. This isn't a home run, to come up to here. I'm not holding it all the way back up to the highs, but I'm not just locking, $275, which is fine. This is a nice day. $450 on the day. That's cool for these XFAs. That's not bad. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it one more break of the high, and I'll take it. And that's it. I'm locked out. Yeah, and you could use Top Step X's lockout feature if you haven't figured that out already. I'll admit it. I have to admit this is way better when you used to use TradingView because now the lag isn't so big. I got you, man. Yeah, and I had somebody. Are you planning to do live in Discord? I want to test live in Discord, and maybe I'll do that tomorrow or next week. A couple ticks before the stream, though. Yeah, there's lag here. There's definitely latency here in YouTube. Let me pay attention to this for a moment, and I'm accidentally moving my pre-market level again. Would really like to see pullback and then continuation up. We start breaking below this level, I may take the small loss on this one. I would let it come down to break even. If we really start blasting below, I'll look to get out of this one. But I don't like the way that this is acting right now. Aggressive selling. I don't like to let it. I don't like to let it scare me out. Again, so I'm going to hold, but we see some really big bars start to form. I'm going to duck out because I think it's more likely to continue down. You can see how the anchored VWAP again is coming into play. Again, this does not always happen like this. You could see, plenty of times if you go back and hit TradingView in replay mode, it's just not respected at all. But in my opinion, and in my testing and forward testing, ES respects these anchored VWAPs enough times to have me put them on my charts like you see here. And either one of these, if you were just trading off of them, would have played out to be a pretty nice quick sell. And you can have a really cheap trade with a stop loss fairly tight, expecting a reaction right there. Same thing with levels. You could take the aggressive cheap trades. Yeah, we didn't push through this aggressively. We're pulling back down. I really want to give this thing room because it's going to be my only trade. I want to see it be a winner, but if I have one trade on for the day, I don't anticipate taking another one right after this. I'm more tempted to leave it, having that frame of mind that here's, the trade that I got into. It's playing out well so far. Pulling back, we are really following, for right now, this uptrend structure. We break below this with some force. We could be in for trouble. But again, anchored VWAP, we're still above off the low. Not terrible, but we continue this slide down. I might just cut it early. And I know we got some questions in the chat. I will answer once I am not staring at this chart. Yeah, too much hesitation. This low in reaction. This might be buyers stepping in really, really aggressively. I'm going stop loss to break even, and I'll let it take me out. I don't like the way that this is forming at all. I very well may get stopped and it continue in my direction, but this was the quick reaction that I want to see, at least on the 1 minute, doing my best to read price action and market structure. And I don't want to risk it because I could see, aggressive sellers stepping in here and bringing this thing lower. So I'll take the stop out at break even. That's fine. Risk-free trade, no worries. I've allowed it to pull back and continue. It's got to continue up now or I don't want to be in it anymore. That's just the bottom line. It can easily pull one of these very, very easily. But now that I'm looking at this consolidation and the failure just to bounce right back up after this nice candle here, if we get down below this level, down below at this anchored VWAP, down towards these lows, there we go. Stop at break even, a little bit of profit. I think there's more potential for a deeper push down, and I don't want to let that $300 winner turn into a complete loser. So we'll see what happens here. Maybe we re-enter, maybe we do something different, but that's where we're at so far. Stops to break even, like we said, holding on through the nice winning trade in the pursuit of the larger winner. Got to make our winners larger than our losers. Again, if you remember, I had $450 worth of risk on this trade, right? So if I'm putting on $450 to start, I really want to hit at least a 1-to-1. I got to hold on for at least a 1-to-1, unless it's going to do something different and give me a reason really, really nasty to get out. But we'll see how this plays from here. Trade management is always tricky if you actively manage your trades like I do. I think it's harder on the psyche because, you're getting involved. You're not just letting it hit, take profit or stop loss. So you watch trades like this that I just closed run in profit afterwards sometimes, and it's not such a good feeling. Sometimes you watch them just run to the downside and you go, hey, I preserved $450 worth of capital. I ended green close to $200 on the day rather than, negative, 300. So maybe it's going to test those lows again. Yeah, I don't want to hold for that. We'll see. We will see. So Mario asked, am I planning to do lives in Discord? I would like to do lives in Discord. There's like really low lag, low latency. It's actually nice. So I'd like to do some lives in Discord. I'll test it out. I got comfortable with YouTube, so that's what I've been doing. It also gives me a bigger audience for people that aren't in the Discord. You know, it pops up, it sits on YouTube. More new people hop on, so I do like to do that. But I will maybe do both. Maybe I could do both at the same time. You know, I'll figure that out. Laxazen says, yes, accepting that it might be a loss takes a lot of stress away from the trader. Yeah, man. You know, you have to accept the risk that you put on. And I can't remember if it's Mark Douglas or Tom Hogarth talks about it in one of their books. A lot of people know what the risk is. You know, they understand what will happen if it comes down there, but they're not fully accepting that risk. And they're expecting it not to happen. They're putting the trade on, you know, thinking that it's not gonna go down there, and that's why you have an emotional reaction when it does, because you didn't really accept that you might take that loss. You didn't accept the consequences of your actions in the market. You know, you're upset that it happened. Why are you upset? If you already put it on, you knew the risk was there. You shouldn't be unhappy with it. You know, that's just the nature of it. Just hit my $1,000 profit target in one trade on Y. Can't trade anymore. Got locked out. Anyways, I'm really starting to love YM. Cool, man. Yeah, no, you got YM the first time. No, all good. If you like Dow, that's cool. Kind of in its own world. When I compare it against ES and NQ, so you know, it's volatile the way, you know, NASDAQ is. You can get a lot of trading on it. I used to trade it a lot. I used to trade US 30 and NAS 100 in the CFD market. But since coming over to futures, I messed with it a little bit because the sizing on it's a little bit more flexible. It's, you know, one tick per point, you know, a $5 per point value rather than quarters of a point for $5 and being a $20 per point in the NASDAQ. But ES is working well for me. Long voice message in Discord about me talking about ES and NASDAQ for anybody that's interested. It's in the free Discord. Yeah, Mario, this wouldn't have been a bad target. 37s. Didn't hit that completely. Obviously, you know, always hindsight's 2020. Look, this would have been a great profit target area to take it off here and, you know, be up 400 something bucks or 500 bucks. But no, I was looking for this this daily VWAP level that was coinciding with this zone up here. I thought this would be a nice target. I'm glad I took the trade off when I did, because I'd be in quite a bit of heat right now. And if I wanted to be long from this level, I'd have a really nice entry right here. At this point, I'm not ready to get long again. Sellers brought this thing not above this high, all the way back down. Again, this VWAP is not being respected at all. The low of day VWAP that I put on, back down towards this level, not blasting through it. Again, so we could see the importance of levels coming in, horizontal areas of interest, supply and demand, support and resistance, order blocks, whatever you want to call them. But I'm not ready for an aggressive long here yet. You could certainly take one with a super tight stop and a nice, you know, 1.5 to 1 or something, just a quick pop back up to like this level here. But I'm not going for it. Now we're back down here a third time, testing these lows. Maybe we want to continue lower. Maybe we've got some acceptance of lower pricing coming in. You know, sellers are in. We want to see a corrective move, continue maybe down towards prior low. So I'm not sold on it just yet. We start breaking below. Again, like I talked about, sometimes you see people call it liquidity. I try not to use any of these names because I don't like to make things more confusing than they are. I just like to talk about it in a basic way that's happening on the chart. So people say, oh, this is a sweep of liquidity, or, you know, whatever, man, whatever we want to call it. Sometimes you'll see, before the market moves up in the direction that it's trying to move, a push down below the recent prior lows for the day, like this, and then a continuation aggressively to the upside. Also, if it's going to break structure to the downside here, There's probably a ton of stops down here. A lot of people getting long from around this area where mine was. Maybe we start to sell off here. We see a pullback up into this area here, this zone that we got marked off, and then a continuation downside. Maybe we bounce directly from here. Maybe we blast right through. These are all options. I like to talk about them all, frame them, try to understand why, and then, take all the other tools that I use, the frames of reference that I have for reading price action and market structure into making a good trading decision, finding a good way to structure risk and get involved with the market. So I'm watching this, and we're at an interesting level, so I'll see what we got. Coming up on 11 o'clock, could get some more trading in. But we'll see. Yeah, I like to find a way to describe clearly what I'm talking about without using any made up or just rebranded and relabeled. I hear the ICT boys talk, and that's cool. If you trade ICT, it's awesome. But it's like they're in a foreign world about the way they're speaking about things, and there's traditional ways to speak about technical analysis. It's kind of relabeled, and it just seems confusing. We saw it pop up, sweep liquidity, breaker block, came back up, inverse fair value gap. I'm like, all right, man, I got you. Can we just describe it a little bit simpler so everybody can be included in this? Because half of those things aren't found in any technical analysis, besides ICT. No shade. So broke below the lows. Got some volatility. Not a ton of volume just yet. I got my traditional volume down here today. Sellers look like they want to take it lower. Here would have been me stopped out for $450, guys. I'm just pointing that part out there. I'm not looking for a high five. Again, this could have just as easily stopped me at break even and continued higher. On a different day, you'll see that happen. You go back in my live streams, you see that happen. But actively managing trades on this day worked out. Saved $450 in the account. Nice win, outside of it just being a couple bucks. Let's see what happens down here now that we did break below this low. Do we aggressively start to push back up? Do we come back up here, find some resistance, and then start to continue? Do we just sell off from here? Because we got some momentum here on the 1 minute chart. No bars trading above prior bar high from reading price action, right? Pretty big bar breaking through to the downside. Volume confirming that. If we want to look at volume, I've kind of weaned myself off of the order flow trading views footprint chart. I just don't have the room to look at all of it and record. So a little bit of volume there for helping with horizontal levels. And I don't really like this one as much. I'll talk about it quickly here. Yeah, we're breaking to the downside. I'm not going to get in on a breakout. I'm not going to sell this to the downside. But this looks like it wants to run. So I'll talk about the volume tools. This is a visible range volume profile. I like session volume profile that anchors to the session. You can also use the fixed range volume profile that might be a little bit clearer. This takes the volume profile from the visual range of price, whatever you have. You see it moving. If I zoom in here, watch, you'll see it move again. So I can zoom in like this, move the chart over towards just New York session, NYSE session, and see the point of control where the high volume areas have been traded. Pretty obvious. Also, it coincides with price. You can tell this to a degree by looking at the chart. I can zoom out a little bit more, come to the start of the session, which we can see right here, and the session changeover. I can come to the day and just kind of get a look and see where the areas of high volume are. This stuff is important as well. Just the way our levels are important. Point of control is definitely important. Knowing where the volume is for that session for the prior day. They can help you identify horizontal levels that you might want to pay attention to on your chart. For me, having this much crap can get a little bit confusing. So here, let's run a test. Actually, I wanted to do this. I don't want to bore you guys, but I want to put this visual range volume profile on my chart here, and then I want to use a fixed range volume profile and see if they line up exactly. I anchored it to exactly the point that I have showing. Yeah, they do. You can put this to the right side as well over here. But again, just to talk about it, anchored range volume profile, you select the amount, the time frame that you want to see volume for. How do I get rid of it? There we go. Just wanted to see if that lined up with the visible range volume profile, which is cool. This can get annoying for me because I constantly move my chart around like a maniac and it changes the whole time. I don't like that. ICT. Iced tea more than ICT. Yeah, I feel you, dude. I feel you. Relaxing Zen. I'm in 50% of the time without a stop loss. No stop loss, gang. Yeah, man. Listen. I think I had one of my other trades on the highlight reel that didn't have a stop loss. It was just high risk scalping. I'll give you this. Number one, I'll go on the record saying you should always use a stop loss. You should know where you want to get out of the trade. You should know your invalidation point. There should be a point on the chart where you say this is not working. And you can't structure and accept risk unless you have a stop loss and know how much you're going to lose if it gets to that stop loss. That's all important. But when you're trading for example, a 50K Top Step X combine, you have $1,000 max loss limit. You can put size on and you technically have a stop loss in the market because it's going to take your ass out at $1,000 of loss for the day. So I don't feel as much stress or pressure not trading with a stop loss in a Top Step X account because you know you're going to be taken out at that time. Should you have one on at that level anyway? Sure. Even if you're going to risk $1,000 on the trade, you might as well just put the line on the chart so you know where your invalidation level is. But it's an imaginary stop. Yeah, it's an imaginary stop. If you're scalping and or you're scaling into positions, a lot of guys don't have a stop on. If you're trading any kind of live account or anything outside of like a combine, even an XFA, I would highly recommend you put a stop on. You don't know what's going to happen. You never know. No news. Somebody launches a missile, and the market just wildly moves against you. At very least, have something as a even if you put it far away, as a protective stop loss. So let's see if I missed any questions up here. Answer Mario. When is it going to go up? That was an earlier one. Yeah, dude. Yeah, some good conversations on this one. Some talk about my trading, my style, my approach. I'm going to get rid of this. Hasn't been respected at all. Maybe we took this indication, getting below it, and then not respecting it as this is not really going to be a strong low for the day, and we want to come lower. Anchored VWAP from this day being very well respected. Price stayed below it the entire time. Gave us this downtrend slope. Really, really similar to the session one. I would never recommend just taking buys or sells off of an individual tool or indicator at all. But you can see, today why I have this on my chart. It's useful. It's useful. Again, horizontal levels I would put above anything else if I'm going to mark on my chart. And then if you said you can only have one thing, it would just be price action and market structure. You can visualize the levels yourself. You don't even need this much stuff on here. A lot of the stuff that I've put on my chart, honestly, is mostly so I can demonstrate it to other people because I have an idea of where those levels are and I don't want so much crap on my chart. But you can see how this one's coming into play, man. And again, how did I identify this? Just for you guys, if you want a little more info, where I get these magical levels from. All these objective levels first, prior day high and low and pre-market high and low, and then zones above and below those areas. So here was open, here's below. This price action hadn't traded. I want something on the chart. This one, not really respected. A little bit. You can see a little bit of price action, then a strong breakthrough. Stopped on a dime on this one. Where did I get this level from? Low. Looking left, here's the next level, right? So I've got that one marked off. Do I have anything in between here? So I look through this price action. I can see a little bit tested as resistance and support, a couple times. Not really though, not really respected. Traded through quite a bit. This was NVIDIA earnings, so maybe we take that into account. But I looked left. Where's the next level below this level? Right here. Highs, lows. I wanted the bottom of this. I wanted to encompass some of this level and this area of price action that was traded as well. You could also see some consolidation around it here. If I drug it out a little bit longer, you could see it tested here a couple times as well. That's it. And it happened to be used as support really aggressively, along with the pre-market low that flipped from support to resistance, and is now again broken below and being retested right here. This would not be, if you were really bearish on the day, I'll talk about this. If you're really bearish on the day and you wanted to get into a sell, this would not be a bad area to do so. Where's my projection tools? Boom. Let's say you get right in at the 50% line or whatever it is, wherever price is trading now. Where do you place a stop on this one? Kind of hard because it could easily trail up higher and then continue down. But if you're expecting a reaction from this level, maybe you're going to target the low of the day, and this would provide a pretty nice risk structure. Even if you went with a really wide stop loss, you could still get a nice positive risk to reward. I don't love this, although it is nice, clean market structure and price action. I'm going to wait to see what happens here. If it comes back down below this low, I missed the trade, but I'm pointing it out for you guys here. It's just, it looks good. It's just, I just don't have the conviction in this one to take it off this zone again. I don't like how high this high is. If this was down lower, I'll be more exact. If this was down lower and I could get a stop loss above the high and not have my stop loss before this high, the way I would want to take it like this, I would like this trade a lot better. I think it would provide a much better way to structure risk, because if price does whatever it's going to do here, continues up, maybe it comes all the way up here, stays below this low, and then continues down. Maybe it follows this nice trend line that we've got formed right off of here, bounces off that perfectly. Why am I out of the trade right here? You understand? So I take all of these things into account, making a decision whether or not I want to take a trade. I could say I think it's going to go lower from here, and I think it's going to go to this area. But if I don't have a good way to structure my risk in the market, I just don't take that trade. It could be one of the most frustrating things, because you watch what you thought was going to happen based on price action, and not predicting anything, but it's just not a valid way to structure risk. So we didn't react super hard off of it. We're coming back up a little bit. Maybe this is a take everybody out again, like we talked about, and then a continuation up. With this momentum, that's looking like a little bit more of the case. It didn't blast through, and it didn't come back up to test and then just continue down. So we'll see. But this is pretty large price action on ES. We've got a fairly nice moving day. That's good. But this can be difficult to structure risk on. I'd add that indicators are discretionary. Yeah, man. Yeah, how you use them is going to be subjective. Exactly where you put them, listen, there's no magic strategy that works. There's no golden holy grail, whatever they call it. I went on a couple of times, a long conversation about my experience talking to guys high up in the industry of coding, bots, and EAs, software engineers, doctors, PhDs in their field, and trying to apply that to the financial markets. Completely objective, rules-based indicator systems, few and far between work. The ones that do have to be monitored continually until they fail and adjusted, and they're almost non-existent. So the YouTube strategy, where it's all you have to do is put 3 moving averages, and you trade when price is above this one and this one crosses over, and you enter exactly At this point, with this risk to reward, maybe you get near break even with it, but not going to work in my opinion. My humble opinion. You grain of salt that with however you want. But again, if rules-based systems work, we would all be kicking back, hanging out, relaxing. The edge comes from discretion, in my opinion. It comes from a lot of areas, but part of what can give you an edge is discretion in the trades, is risk management, deciding how much risk to put on for that particular trade, actively managing the trade, using your intuition and experience and applying that to the market. I'm the indicator. That's the joke that guys make. I'm the indicator. I'm using, my reading of price action to say, hey, it's at this level. This is, me seeing in my mind the moving average crossover and the RSI and the MACD and the Bollinger Bands. I know about all of it, guys. I've played with all of it. I've back tested and researches. I've spent so much time early on with indicators and rules-based systems, especially stuff that seems to work like magic and back testing. I wish it was that easy. I really do. Do you trade with the trend? I try to primarily, but building off of my man, Relaxing Zen's comment, even that's discretionary and subjective. And I'll define those. Discretionary means it's an opinion. It's not a fact. I can say like I took this trade before, right? I'm trading with the trend because I'm looking at the 1 minute chart and I'm taking a buy after we put a higher high in above this high. We put consecutive higher lows in, and now we're continuing up. And I say I'm trading with this uptrend structure right here, right? I'm making an example out of this, but you'll get the point. You can easily say, no, Zach, you're not, because look at the structure from today. We've got a bunch of downtrend structure. You're trading against the trend. And a third person, Mario or Relaxing Zen, can step in and say, hey, you know what? Both of you guys are idiots, and the trend is up because when we zoom out, this is the higher time frame trend. We're trading with the trend because we're trading up. So I don't mean to be confusing or not answer that question, but what I want to display is trend is subjective and discretionary. In general, I try to trade with the trend. I think the highest probability of a trade working out is when almost all of us would agree that we're in a higher time frame trend and we're taking buys. When we're in a trend across all time frames and we're taking buys. When the trend is up just how I zoomed out really far, when it's trending up on the 15 minute, and when it's trending up on the low time frames as well. Those are the highest probability trades. Trading with the trend is your friend. All of those axioms, they hold true. They absolutely hold true. So I try to trade with the trend, but I like to build off of that discussion of discretionary, subjective trading. And my interpretation could be up and your interpretation could be down. So overall, especially for beginners, trying to trade with the trend across multiple time frames gives you the best chance of it playing out in your favor, because here's objective, not opinion. If we're trending up, looking at one time frame, how does that happen? More ticks or pips are moving up than are moving down. That's the only way that price can move up, correct? We can have massive price action back and forth where there's an equal number, and whatever we're looking at for that time frame on the chart will be ranging. They could be moving down where there's more ticks in the down direction, moving down, than there are moving up. So if you trade in that direction, you're more likely to have the trade move in your favor. Here's the other piece of it. Does the trend have to continue when you put your trade on? No. It can turn on a dime right there. It can start to pull back at that time. You're going to have a stop loss somewhere in the market. So these are all things to understand. But in general, trying to trade with the trend is helpful. I will also preface it with this. Maybe preface it isn't the right term. On the low time frames, and I'm just yapping because I don't have a trade off this. Here we go, bouncing off a pre-market low again. all the way back up like we talked about. I'm watching this anchored VWAP, play a real strong role today and this pre-market low. I don't have a trade off of this. Too big of price action trending back and forth. I'm not getting in at the lows on the first candle trying to just trade these small moves, so I'll yap. What I was going to say was on the US indices like S&P here on the 1 minute chart, trading a small amount of time for each day during NYSE session. If I was only trading when all of the trends that I identify align, I would hardly get setups. So I take trades based on what's happening right then and there in the pre-market and then as market opens and how it's reacting around levels, reading the real short-term, time frame trend, you'd say. So, I like to be on the right side of the trend, but no, I don't always trade with the trend. Again, because trend's discretionary and subjective, all that same thing we talked about. Oh, man, we got another scammer. Yeah, we got another scammer. Relax. Zach, there's someone who woke up thinking he's going to be Zach today. Check out Discord. I'll come back, LM. I see that. Bruce Lee, what's up, bro? I see that question. Hang on one second. I just got to kick somebody. There we go. Oh, he looks good, too. He got my ban. I love when you go to ban somebody in Discord. I guess you'll only know this if you have managed a Discord chat. They play a meme where it's like the gladiator coming down. It says admin and he's got the sword and it's banned. Discord is so funny with that stuff. Zach ain't ever coming to VIP. Yeah, dude, Alex from Discord, if you're on here, you're in contention. Appreciate you guys pointing that out. Thank you. I hate that crap. I try to police it as best I can. Let me just put that in the, because I'm sure he friend requested everyone. Sorry, guys. Let the boys know. Yeah, I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to get some either some mods or some bots eventually as we grow. I'm just doing it myself. Maybe some boys in Discord will want to be mods at a certain point, and I'll look for some help. But I also got to develop a relationship with someone before I go and give them the authority to go ahead and ban people. But yeah, the scammers are crazy, man. All over the place. Instagram, Discord. It's wild, man. Wild. All right, let's see. Back to trading. I wanted to answer this one. I get confused about determining the trend. Sometimes I use 200 EMA to help me and look on other time frames. Yeah, brother. Learn to read market structure. Here's what I tell you on that one. Learn to kick the losers out. Yeah. Learn to read market structure and price action, and you can determine the trend. You can determine it on any time frame you like. If it helps, and I used MAs for a long period of time to use them like training wheels to help you determine that trend, and maybe see it across multiple time frames, you can use that. Use multiple, MAs. But my recommendation would be, I'm just watching this as we go. My recommendation would be to learn how to read market structure, and in the most simplistic way. This is what an uptrend looks like. Higher highs and higher lows, right? Uptrend. You can have deep pullbacks, but across the chart that you're looking at, you're seeing consecutive higher highs being put in, pull back down without breaking below a low, and then a higher high, which breaks above this high right here. A pullback down, this low doesn't come below these lows and start breaking structure to the downside, and then price again continues up above this high. That's how you would be identifying, a trend. When you see ranging moves like this, we're not in a trend. Maybe you see some moves like that, you see some expansion, maybe you see the market, tightening up and making smaller and smaller moves, sideways price action. But you should be able to look at a chart pretty quickly, especially when you zoom out, and determine what direction, at least for whatever you're looking at, what direction that market is moving in. Start with the higher time frames. That's important. And then scale down and, try to trade in the direction of that multiple time frame analysis, that top-down analysis. NVIDIA was crazy, bro. I'm here. Yeah, NVIDIA was absolutely nuts. I was anticipating that to be a wild move. It was. They came out wild with those earnings, the split, all the stuff, because I listened to it. And it just reacted so positively. I took a sell that I spoke about in Discord on NQ. Don't know why I keep going back to NQ to get punished. I'm probably done. Probably not, but I'll say I'm done for now. On the gap being filled that was formed at the session changeover, I take those trades. They don't form. They don't happen often. I take gaps like that form, at session changeovers or opening and closings of markets. They have high probabilities, just historically, of filling pretty quickly. It didn't happen. It just pushed up on NQ. It left it and it ran to the upside. Couple things I could have done differently, like I talked about in chat. Easily could have cut that trade. It would have played out on ES, so I'll say that. I'll pat myself on the back. I would have gotten filled in profit on ES. Having seen it, if I was actively managing it, which I wasn't, having seen ES fill the gap and NASDAQ just remain so strong and not, that was a pretty good indication if I was going to actively manage the trade to move stop loss to break even because it made it into a little bit of profit, or just close it at break even or a loss and say, you know what, less probability of this working out. Also, you could take into consideration that NVIDIA was so strong. That's an uncommon occurrence to happen, and it's likely to just run. And if there is a gap that's not going to be filled, that's probably the one. So, all good. I'm taking those trades, 9 times out of 10, like I talked about, as long as I could structure risk, which I could, and the losses will be losses. I only take so much fundamentals into account in my trading. I'm a technical guy. I pay attention to the news release. NVIDIA earnings happened. It wicked like crazy. Am I going to trade the rest of the day and week based on NVIDIA being strong? No, I'm just going to trade the chart. So there's that. I like a sell from 18,900s. I don't have NQ marked up at all. I was so annoyed this morning I left it. Yo, my man Mario says he likes to sell from this area. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, again, we're following nice structure here. NASDAQ taking everybody out of trades and NQ playing ES playing nicer. I see that, but not a bad move, right? Like downtrend structure. We put this low in, we broke down. Maybe we get a continuation. You could structure risk pretty nicely with a stop loss somewhere, above these highs. Not bad. I like it. I don't have it in me right now. I don't have the conviction. None of this is a setup for me. I'd probably be having to wait right now for some more structure to form and a continuation up or a continuation down. Stop loss at. I'm sorry, man. I was so late on these questions, Mario. I like it, man. You just said stop loss. Let's just measure this out. We said stop loss at. Something along those lines. Yeah, man. Not bad. This is something like that. Yeah, it's kind of like it's big price action in NASDAQ. So I recognize this is already a pretty wide stop loss. I'd like it a little bit higher because NASDAQ does this bullshit. So a stop loss just above sometimes gets taken out because it trades a few ticks above. So like something like that, like in the 20s, the low 20s would be like a little bit better. Maybe we could maintain that because it's trading up. And you could have a really nice target. Oh, you could have a really nice target down here. Not bad, but this break of low and then trail all the way back up without a continuation down, now a consolidation, it's a little bit less indication that sellers are still in control and we want to move down further. I don't have NASDAQ marked up, but looking at it on ES, that's why I'm not in a sell right now. We broke down. This looked like a nice reaction, and I'm sure a bunch of people got faked right here. This looked great for a sell. Now we trailed all the way back up. We're not getting above these highs and, still following downtrend structure, but this looks to me like buyers are kind of holding this now. We broke below, we took everybody out of the longs that we're getting in down here, and, now we're coming back up. So I don't love this for a sell right now. It's not a bad trade. It follows a lot of, a lot of just common sense, but it's just not strong enough for me. I apologize that it took so long for me to answer that question. But when I am actively trading, or I'm going through questions now, I'm not going to be as quick. I usually take that 6 p.m. opening gap fill too. Trust me, last time NVIDIA earnings pulled the same shit. That's why I didn't go for it. Yeah, good move. Hey man, Flavio, what's going on? You go on NQ to get punished. Come on. No, not you got a dirty mind, relaxing zen. No, it's just it's hard, again, everyone's got a preference, and it all depends on how you're trading, the style, the size of your your stops, the way, how long you're going to be in trades. Some stuff will not work on ES that will work very well on NQ. The way that I'm trying to trade, for a lot of the reasons that I spoke about on previous lives, ES seems to work better. I could demonstrate it again today. Let's say we wanted to take a sell. We wanted to see a pullback all the way up here, or we took a sell down here as it was pulling back because it got to this level, and I had a stop loss just above this high. Would have played out fine on ES, right? Let's go over to our friend NASDAQ. NASDAQ had to come up above that high and take everybody out before continuing down. You get a lot of those moves. Maybe you get really accustomed to that. Maybe this provides great entry signals. It's just preference. So, you see a lot of different things like that. But I had a 7-minute audio message answering one of the guys about ES in Discord. So feel free to listen to that in the free Discord. No worries, facts. I go for shorts now. Once I find an entry, I ain't worried about it at this point. We bounced through the 1 hour bullish fair value gap. Tested it again twice, failed to go higher. 9/10s. Yeah, I got you. Dumps on YM was clean. I haven't traded yet because we had so much news this morning. I could see lower lows for sure. Yeah, I'm with you guys. I hear you. Let me look at NQ again just so we see the levels that Bruce Lean is looking at. 1910, 1912s. Sorry, 910, 912s. Yeah, he's saying this level right here, bounced twice, failed to go higher here. Yep. Here was a clean trade. This pull back up, and if we started to get the same type of momentum to the downside, that would have been a clear indication that we got room to go lower. I probably wouldn't have been jumping on the bandwagon just yet. Honestly, I probably would have missed that one. But I don't love this consolidation, and 20 minutes, 18 minutes of price action, just kind of balancing. Gun to my head, which I haven't had yet, as I'm sitting here in my office chair. I'm taking it short with a stop loss above these highs. That's my trade. I wouldn't say long right from here with a stop loss here. I'd go short. Cheap trade because if it comes up above all these highs and starts trailing higher, you're out. You got a nice clean invalidation. But that's what I would be looking at. Overall, though, yes, I've been punished, not in some nasty way, just in the P&L type of way, boys. taking shorts on this market so many times that I've really not liked taking shorts. Like every short I take, it just again, and there's just coincidence with that and the whatever. But every short I take is a loss, and every long I take is a win. That's the way it feels. That's not exactly the data, but man, it's hard to go short on this tear to the upside. So I mean, I like to be looking just to buy the dip on different areas. This was cool. Quick bounce trades off of this. Again, this would have played out even nicer. I scaled in, and I just got a little bit too heavy to maintain it back all the way down. But yeah, I see what you guys are looking at. I don't have one, man. I don't have this one in me. I'm not convinced. If I was going to enter short, it would have been right here, as it's coming down, seeing a nice reaction again for the third time off of the anchored VWAP, and a continuation down. If we wanted to watch again, I had one off of this. It wasn't respected at all, so I'll point that out. Maybe we saw it come back down through it, and that was the area we wanted to pay attention to. This would be the new low of day, at least so far. We're on the 1 minute, and I don't really have confirmation. So throwing these VWAPs on these random lows, if it comes back down again, I'm not really following the correct way to do it. But I like to start to pay attention to them. I throw them on there early and look. Yeah, I don't have too much else on this for right now. We're getting close to that 12 p.m. New York lunch time frame that I don't love to trade. Clean. Yeah, we did have quite a bit of news this morning. Not all of it really pushed the market around too much. That was 8:30. Pretty uneventful with the it was some unemployment, something red folder. Well, yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna hang for right now. If you like this stream, hit the like button, man. Subscribe. If you're not in Discord, hop in the free Discord. Would love to have you there. Other than that, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. I'm just an idiot on YouTube. No suggestions or recommendations to do anything. You're in charge of your own trading decisions. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. You'll probably lose all of the money that you try to trade with. All of this is for entertainment purposes only. Again, no suggestion or recommendations to do anything. Just me doing my own thing for entertainment. Full disclaimer and everything else on my website, realdealfutures.com. Also in the description of this video. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Not super exciting for the morning session. We took one trade together here, a buy. It did run up to some nice profits. I got stopped around break even, shooting for the higher high. We didn't get that. But glad to end it green. Glad to get a trade in. Maybe we'll run another one soon right at the open so we get even more action. But appreciate you guys hopping on. I'll try to get some little recap videos together, and we will run it again tomorrow. I'll talk to you guys. Thanks again.